Month. The last time I saw y'all, it was June. It is July now, and July. I don't know if this is Freedom Month or not, but we'll call in July. The month of July is I Am Free Month, and free to be all that I can be. And Danny and I are going to talk about and unpack what does freedom really look like. And so I hope everybody has had a great weekend. We've just jumped into this month, just excited about our challenges, excited about our opportunities, excited about new friendships and renewing old friendships. And Danny is a great friend of mine. We've been knowing each other for some time now. So we're going to jump into the show and get this party started, as my young folks say. Come on, y'all. 2, 1.
We love you, Dr. Sims!
Baby, this good. Now I'm finna go and sit down and eat this, but before I go, I want to tell somebody something. And I don't know who to spoil, but hear me well. You are more than somebody's mama. You are more than somebody's daddy. You are more than somebody's wife. You are more than somebody's husband. You are more than somebody's daughter. You are more than somebody's son. You are more than somebody's uncle, auntie, grandma, grandfather. You are more than those things. You may wear those titles, but do not forget that you are a woman. You are a man. Don't forget about you and what you need. All right? Very good, honey. That thing came over me. The Lord said, girl, speak that. I thought we was just having Sunday dinner, but, honey, I hope that fed somebody's soul. Yes.
Oh, good morning, everybody. That was Tabitha Brown. She's got a new spice, a new seasoning coming out with her face on it. I am so proud of her. Follow her on TikTok, and I'm loving some TikTok. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right. I'm Dr. Sims, host of the Dr. Sims Daily Show. Hey, Mama. Mama cracked me a while ago. You don't give me a shout out, so I got to give Mama a shout out every day. Hey, Miss Vanessa. Hey, Shalonda. Hey, Wilma. Hey, everybody. I am so excited about our guest today. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in my pre-talk because I'm excited about having Danny here. We have flown her in all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. She's in the green room, mic'd up and ready to go. Dan, I don't know how we met, but again, social media has bridged us and brought us together. Just so proud of her. She doesn't look like this, but she's a grandmother, but she does not look like she got grandbabies. She's looking good this morning. So without any further ado, my friend, a fella, a life coach, she's going to sit down with me for a few moments, and we're going to talk about what does true freedom really look like. Hey, there she is, my friend, the Danny Cook, the life coach. Good morning, young lady. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Listen, I told you in pre-production, the only way I could be better if I was a cook.
Sorry.
Well, how you been? What have you been up to, DC?
A little bit, a lot of it, everything. So, a couple of years ago, my grandbaby was born, weighing 1 pound and 3 ounces, and spent over 3 months in the NICU in the intensive care unit. And people who know me and who follow me know that I have a big heart for social justice issues, for things,
Right.
And it doesn't really matter what it is. I went to Standing Rock and other things like that. Wherever someone is being done wrong,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
something corrupt isn't right, I'm willing to kind of go the mile. And so anyway, about a year after she was discharged, they found out that the healthcare system had been created into a medical monopoly. A bunch of politicians were involved, and dirty corporate money happened. And I didn't get roped into. Some nurses reached out to me, and
Right.
here was the bottom line: is that these two particular nurses were instrumental in saving Bella's life.
Oh, wow.
And when they asked me, they said they didn't know anybody that could do anything, that had, the ability. And so I had a platform and a voice.
That's
and,
awesome.
So that led to a 2.5-year long research and protest against healthcare inadequacies and
Wow.
things that were happening in Tennessee. I ended up moving back home for a while.
Amen.
Slept outside of a hospital for 257 days.
Yeah. That's what grandmamas do. You know what I'm saying? And just so proud of you and so happy for you. And you have a voice, and kind of talk a little bit about your background. Why are you a life coach? And you and I talked about this. We had a conversation about some Facebook stuff, and you're a life coach, and I love one of the things you said. I am a life coach. I want to walk alongside of you, and I have plagiarized one of your sayings. You said that I want to share your life with you, and that thing has stuck with me like glue. How did you become a life coach?
I don't really, things just end up evolving that way. When you start to do your own work, and you begin to identify your own stories, your own traumas, and really dissect what happens. Like a lot of times, we go through life and we just are who life makes us.
True. That's true.
Very few people are intentional about creating who they desire to be.
That's very true.
Yeah, and so I got tired of being the person that life had created me to be. I got tired of being who circumstances and traumas and situations had created. I no longer wanted to treat people the way that they treat me. I wanted to treat people the way that I desire to be treated without expectation. So
that's
unconditional. You don't even got to like me. Probably one of the biggest examples of that is the advocacy for the healthcare. Because like where I'm from back home is rural, right? So it's rural, it's country, it's 97% white.
Wow.
I am not their normal like hoorah girl, right? Growing up there was, yes, but growing up there as a kid was very traumatic for me.
Okay.
I mean, I was half-breed, I was Oreo, I was nigger, I was, you name it, I was it. It just depended on whether it was a white person or a black person talking to me.
That's
right?
awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And so what was mom or dad black? Or what?
Yeah,
what was...
my mom is white, my dad is black.
Okay.
And so growing up there, but here was, so people ask me, why would you, my friends even said, why would you go back for those people?
Wow.
Right? Why would you give up your life? Why would you, because I lost everything during this process. And it was, why would you do this for them? And I have to break that down. When it comes to the two nurses, what if somebody saved your grandbaby's life, what would you not do?
That's true.
Number one.
That's true. Right. That's good. That's good, Dan.
And then two is, who do I desire to be in this life? Do I desire to be someone that is only willing to go the extra mile and sacrifice and advocate for people who would do the same for me? Or do I just want to be that person regardless?
That's so good. So
when I decided to be that person, when I began this journey of doing my own work, I was like, okay, well, I want to help other people be able to navigate, not tell people what to do.
There you go.
Not be a consultant where I give you a quick fix and tell you what words, because then you're always attached to me, right?
That's a good point.
A coach asks the right question to lead you to self-discovery so that you can own your choices.
That is good.
And then you're empowered in what you do. And so all of my childhood traumas, so from, the biracial, racial issues growing up to sexual molestation and all of those things, my military service, there was a lot, and continues to be because the work never ends, to unpack along that journey, right? But I find that it's easier to unpack it if we do it together.
That's good. That's good.
We do it from a place of unconditional love. So that's how I ended up in this place.
That is okay. Now I'm gonna swerve a little bit. We're gonna chase a rabbit quick. You know how coaches are and professional speakers are. We're gonna chase a quick rabbit. So being biracial, and I just saw this on TikTok. A young lady asked, her mom is black, so can she promote herself as a black business owner? So that got me thinking about our conversation. So one of your paradoxes is you're not black enough and you're not white enough, just depending on who you're talking to. So how did you overcome that hurdle?
And you know what's funny about that is what I often share about that is that it was more hurtful for me and continues to be more hurtful for me when I am rejected by black people.
Wow.
And here's why.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how white I am. When I go outside into the white world that we live in, right?
Okay.
They don't care how white I am. I am still a black woman. That is how I'm viewed.
That you better preach. Wow.
That's my experience. And so for Black people, I'm like, well, listen, you got to know how this feels. Like,
Come
I
on.
should not be getting this from folk who are like me, right? But then I have to also go back and realize, where does this stem from?
Wow. This is
When you
good.
think about the days of slavery, right? You had field Negroes and house Negroes,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
And house Negroes oftentimes got to read, even if it was just the Bible, they often got to play with the master's other children, right? I told people when 2 years ago, when everybody
Yeah.
was up in arms about Aunt Jemima, or was it just a year ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, listen, they made Aunt Jemima be fat and jovial and buffoonery and all of that because the real mammies looked like me.
Right.
Because we've been raped by the masters, right?
That's
so they
right.
had light skin, they had wide hips, like we were desirable. That's why they had to paint the picture the way they did.
Right.
So the way that I've overcome that is I simply am who I am, right?
That's good. That's good.
And your opinion of me, not you directly, but
No, I hear you.
It does not matter. Now, does that mean that sometimes it doesn't hurt?
Right.
No, I'm a human being, right? But it's up to me to decide whether I experience a few moments of pain or whether I suffer.
That is good. That is good. So let me ask you this. So because you're truly walking tall and you got that Wonder Woman you just got that presence now. So when did the light turn on for you? When did you get this confident that you are today? You know, we all are on this journey and we have that moment in our life where we like, you know what? It's sort of like the superheroes. I love movies, so I watch the superheroes, and it's a moment in their life where they're at a crossroad. Do I be that guy or woman, or do I just kind of shrink back and kind of chill with everybody else? So when did you get to that crossroad and say, you know what? I am the Danny Cook. When did that happen for you?
I don't know that moment has happened for me. What did happen was, I don't know if you're a fan of Brene Brown. I love Brene Brown.
Okay.
And I had in 2012, I had this moment. People will call it a breakthrough.
Okay.
She and I call it a breakdown. I literally woke up one day, got ready to get dressed to go to work, because here's the thing, I've always been a high performer.
Okay,
always. But I learned that as a child, as a coping mechanism. And this is the thing for some people. We think that success or achievement sometimes means that people are well. It can appear as confidence when in reality it's a survival tool.
Wow. Okay, right? That's a good point.
So one of the things that I learned as a young child was performance was an achievement, was a substitute for feeling loved. If I did well, if I made straight A's, if I cleaned my room, then I got praise from the adults and the authority figures in my life, and that was a replacement for not feeling really loved, right?
Okay.
So when people say, well, when did you become this way? Well, this way is how I've always been publicly, right? Now, when did it change internally for me? Was between 2012 and 2013. And that was when, like, I got up one day, I got ready to go. Well, I got in the shower to get ready to go to work. Got out of the shower and my towel sat down on the bed and could not get dressed. And I called my friend, because I've always been in internet marketing. And so I called my friend who was also my boss on my team and said, hey, I need you to tell them I'm working from home today. You know?
Okay.
He was like, okay, boom, got you. So that was fine the first day. By day 3, when I still had not left my house or been able to get dressed, I was like, you know what? I have a problem right now.
Wow.
So I called him up and I said, hey, I need the number to Human Resources. I need EOC. And then they set me up with a healthcare provider, a counselor, a therapist.
Wow.
And I went to see her and, began to really do the work and unpack and recognize that, trauma shows up in a myriad of ways.
Yeah.
My childhood trauma and military trauma combined together gives you a really great PTSD recipe.
Wow. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. And so, so in 2013, that all kind of pinnacled to the guy that I was dating at the time. We had this horrendous fight where, truthfully, we could have both gone to jail. It was not cool.
Okay.
And at the end of that moment,
Wow.
I determined I never wanted to feel that way again in my life. And how do you love without being able to be hurt that way again?
Wow.
Right? That was the key. Because when
That's
I got
good.
divorced years ago, I
Yes.
never wanted to hurt that way again.
Yeah.
But what that meant to me was fine. I just won't love that way again.
Yeah, I feel you. Yes. Somebody just asked, my virtual assistant just asked, is that the Danny who used to work out online all the time? This is her. This is her. And I believe that's what attracted us to each other. I started following you online and noticing some of the
Yeah.
things you're doing. So proud of you. So proud of you. So are you in relationship now, or you just been so busy you're not even thinking about that now?
So that's an interesting question. So I have an individual that I talk to, that I date.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay. Okay, so let's swerve a little bit. I am so enjoying it. You got to come back, Danny. This is so good. Let's swerve a little bit. What would you say? Because I'm following another young man. I have become a fan of Kevin Samuels. I follow another guy, and I do a little relationship talk myself. The dating climate today. I recently re-entered this scene because I got divorced last year. It's been a year now. I've been divorced, and I'm so glad I'm not even really. Lord, thank you. This dating scene today. What is up with men and women today, Danny?
First of all, I'm surprised you're a fan of Kevin Samuels.
A little bit. Because what I did, you get this surface and you hear everybody talking about him and how much of a different person he is. So once you dig into it and start listening to the theme of what he's saying, I'm becoming a fan. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what's your temperature of men and women today, the single crowd? What is going on?
Well, I think what you have is a myriad of things. So especially within communities, the Black and brown communities.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So one of the things, I'm getting ready to do, I got a nudge in my gut. Now, I can't ignore it. Whenever I get a nudge, I have to do something.
Okay.
And I watched the video from Monique, where she's telling women about being in the airports and bonnets and so
the
forth.
Bonnet Chronicles.
She keeps saying, "Where's your pride?"
Right. Okay.
Let me just say this. I disagree with her about what she's saying, how she's saying what she's saying. Because here's the thing. Black people have always been prideful, right? We've learned Black pride all day, right? What we have not really learned is Black love.
That's well
right?
said. Well said. Well said.
When we learn to really love ourselves, you want to stop the issues that are happening in our communities and in the homicide rates and things like that, right? Then when you learn to love yourself,
I'm writing that down. That's
love the
good.
team that you're in, then you can't, right? Because if I see me and everybody that I look at, it's going to reduce my desire to harm you or hurt you, right? So what you see showing up in the dating world,
that's good,
are people who are not very well equipped and well versed and knowledgeable about how to truly love themselves.
That's
and
very true.
We need to start to unpack self-love because there is such a thing as conditional self-love.
That's
right.
Girl, you want to come back tomorrow? This is so good. This is so good. And I really, girl, I so resonate with you on that. We as a race, mm-hmm. we really don't know how to love each other, let alone each other, but ourselves. And you
can't love each other until you really learn to love yourself. And people think, there's an old African proverb: I cannot give what I do not have.
Hello, somebody. Right?
I cannot give what I do not have. And the thing is like, do you only love yourself when you look a certain way, when you're doing a certain thing, when you're achieving a certain thing, when you have so much money in your bank account, when you're driving a certain car? Or do you love yourself when you are just being? If you had no titles, if you had no labels, if you had nothing to identify you, if you couldn't call yourself a doctor,
right.
or a coach or a mother or a son or whatever, could you still love the being that you are?
Just Danny and Walter. Do you just love, and you
love, absolutely. And that's one of the crucial things that's missing. And then when you pile on top of that, a global pandemic. When you pile on top of that severe isolation and lack of human contact and connection, when you pile on
It's been
top
rough.
of that a
Yeah.
hostile political environment, when you pile on top of that racial tensions and social injustice and images of us being shot and beat, and so when you add all of those things together, as a country,
Right.
we suck at mental health.
That's I
right?
mean, and we just got out of that a couple of months ago. May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and we really talked about that. Last month was Men's Health Month, and I really really boosted the men last month. Celebrated women March and April, and I so agree with you, my friend. So what's next for you? Cause we got to bring you back for part 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what's next for you, Danny?
Oh gosh. So a couple of things. So I'm a bit of an artist as well, right? So I've started doing some of my artwork. So this one's right here beside me.
Okay.
This one I just did recently. Right?
Wow.
So
That's
this
nice.
was in June. So I'm starting to get my art going and getting it back up on my Etsy site. Starting to get ready to take on some clients again, but being very, very picky.
Right.
Not picky, but
Selective.
it's selective. Yeah.
Yeah.
People can call it whatever they want to, but
Right.
I'm getting I've had to take several months for self-care, and that's really challenging for me because I love to do, and it's ingrained in me to produce, right? That's how
Right.
I feel good about myself.
Right.
So to not produce has been challenging, but for me, it's those things. It's picking on clients. It's launching a card deck. So I designed a guide deck. It's like how can I say it? It's called the Connect deck. So like I wrote the deck, I wrote the guidebook that goes with it, and all the cards.
Okay.
And so literally, like every day you pull a card, and it might say something like "get grounded."
That's
and so
good.
it may be telling you that you need to get grounded in order to handle all your emotions. It might be telling you, it might be dealing with fears, whatever it is.
That's good.
So I'm using the Connect deck as a coaching tool to be able to, help people tap into their intuition, their inner wisdom. Because I
That's
believe
good.
at the core of us, no matter what you call it, so whether you call it God, whether
Right.
you call it spirit, intuition, whatever
Right.
name you give it, we all have this thing in us
That's right.
that is our compass, right?
Right.
And too often we listen to everything and everyone else around us instead of that thing that we know.
Yeah.
So when you combine pulling the right card and trusting the process, and you tap into your own knowing, then you become confident in hearing your own voice
That's
and being able to
good.
move forward. So that's what's next for me, is
That's
getting
good.
the decks printed, and then starting to host some webinars and seminars where I can kind of teach people and walk through this. Because what I want to combine is the world of intellectual mental health coaching with the world of intuitive guidance, tuning
That's
into your
good.
real self, connection with the creator, so that you can marry the two worlds, the world that we live in
Right.
and the spiritual world together.
Right. That's
and
good.
kind of make them work harmoniously.
That is so good. Good. I am so glad you said yes, and I apologize to you publicly because, guys, I was supposed to have her on sooner than today, but we didn't connect. But today was perfect. You were supposed to open up July for us, and so what's your contact information? How can people find the Danny Cook?
Yeah, so that's it. The Danny Cook. You can follow me on Facebook under that. You can find me on Instagram under that, Twitter as well. I started a TikTok, but have not been on that joker.
Oh, TikTok.
I know my daughter keeps getting on me. She's like, "Mom, you need to do TikTok. People would love you." Da, 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 da.
Right.
And I'm like, "Girl, there's only so many hours a day." And to be frank, like I said, it's been about restoring, because
Right.
that whole process, especially being
Right.
back home, was pretty traumatic.
Amen.
So those are the ways. The website is thisisdanny.com. Needs to be updated, so give me some grace. I've been sleeping outside of hospitals and stuff.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. And give Bella a big hug for us when she wakes up, okay?
I will. Both my grandbabies are back here. I have 3, and so they are 7, 3 and 5 months.
That's awesome. And I told y'all she does not look like a grandmama. And she's also relaunching her podcast. And I'm going to be a guest real soon on her podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
The Rantings of Danny.
I like that. I like that. That is so
That's
good.
the name of my first book was The Rantings of Danny.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, listen, thank you for being here and everybody just showing you much love in the chat. And we just appreciate you today. And just thank you for just your wisdom today. Thank you for your authentic self and your transparency. And girl, you know what? We love you like a play cousin.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, really like a play cousin.
That's right.
Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it. And, you know, feel free to reach out if anybody has questions. I'm happy to answer.
All right. Listen, y'all, that's Danny Cook. And thank you again, Danny, for being here. And we got to run to a quick break and we'll be right back. And a good friend of mine, another friend of mine from the Periscope days will be here Thursday, Miss Teresa Royale Brown. Awesome woman, just awesome sauce. And good morning again, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. Listen, we're gonna run to a quick commercial and we'll be right back.
Hey now, if you'd like to donate today to the Dr. Walter Sims Show, please donate at Cash App, $Walter H. Sims. Yes, that's Cash App, $WALTERHSIMS. That's Cash App, $Walter H. Sims.
Well, it's number 9. The Fast and Furious 9. I'm a big fan of the series. That's Vin Diesel in the middle. And I was laughing with Troy yesterday. He, in the whole series, F1, Fast and Furious to now, he may have had a paragraph of dialogue. He doesn't talk much, but he's action, driving the car. Fast and Furious 9 is pretty good. He's going to meet his brother, his baby brother, his estranged baby brother. I don't want to be a spoiler, but it's pretty good. It's I love the series. I'm going to give it a B, a solid B, and I'm being real generous, but it's a must-see. If you want to go eat some popcorn, butter in the middle, butter on top, and get you a slushie, just have that. It's, you know, Tyrese is good, Ludacris is good in the movie. They keep you laughing. But anyway, that's our movie of the week. Let's go over our power word real quick. Our power word of the day comes from my coach. Listen to her last night on Facebook Live. Resilience. That's the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. I tag it #bounce back ability. You got to remember that what you're going through is only temporary. Danny's grandbaby Bella was born 1 pound. She was weighing 1 pound. She spent several days in the hospital. She's 4 now. We're gonna go through things in this thing called life. You're gonna go through things. But one thing about this BODY, we're resilient. This body is a well-oiled machine. And how quickly you bounce back from things, what kind of shape are you in? Come on, somebody. What kind of shape are you in? This is why you do the work on you. This is why you listen to a Dr. Sim. This is why you listen to a Danny Cook. This is why you listen to positivity, because we are living in some trying times right now. Do you feel me? Tanoa, she got into some dire straits last week. She had me worried, but she has bounced back. She had to get on. She's got an inhaler, and she had to go to the hospital. She had to go to the ER, but she's still here. And she was talking. She said she's almost back at 100%. But what have you been through? We've come through a pandemic. We're dealing with racial stuff. We're dealing with political stuff. We're dealing with unemployment, but we still here. And we don't look like what we've been through. Come on, somebody. We don't look like what we have been through. Come on, somebody. You ought to air high five. Give me an air high five. I'm still here. After all the things I've been through, I still got joy. Y'all better help me shout this morning. After all the things I've been through, I still have joy. Come on, somebody. So how are you working on you enough that when you have situations that your bounce back ability is pretty quick. Your recovery time is quick. And this is how, when I work with my client, this is how we measure our success, is how quickly do I recover when things happen to me that I don't foresee? How quickly do I bounce back? So my question for you today is, how quickly do you bounce back? Amen? How quickly do you bounce back? Let me coach you a little bit. Remember, there's no shame in needing help unless you refuse to ask for it. It took Danny 3 days, and I'm saying I didn't know this. Did we put this together? Didn't know we were gonna go here and talk about this. But it took Danny 3 days to recognize she needed help. And she got in touch with a counselor, a therapist. She went to her human resources of the company she was with at that time and said, listen, I need some help. And so there's no shame in needing help. The shame is not asking for it. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to a colleague yesterday. Ms. Vanessa. When you get tired, you're going to get some help. Come on. Love is the key. When you get tired of being tired, you're going to reach out for some help. It blows my mind. I was talking to a young man last night, a potential client. I was talking to him last night, gave him a complimentary consult last night, and he called me. And I gave him my card last weekend at my sister's wedding, and I told him to call me. And he called me last night. He said, Dr. Sim, I knew I needed help. I said, I follow the lead of the Spirit. I said, and I don't do this with everybody. I said, but I gave you my card. And we had a 30-minute conversation like that. He said, Dr. Sim, I got men around me, but I needed to hear from you. And I said, I'm a specialist. And I said, if you go to your general physician and you got a foot issue, he or she is going to refer you to a podiatrist. You need a specialist, and you can't get the kind of help you need from just anybody. Come on, somebody. Do you feel me? And so this is one of the things I love about Kevin Samuels. He said black people don't realize and undervalue therapy or life coaching. And he said we have had so many traumas in our lives, and Danny spoke to this. We need some help. We need professional help. And you just can't talk. Up under the shade tree like we used to, because not many shade trees around. But we need help. And there's no shame saying, listen, raise your hand and say, I need help. And we had a good talk last night. Talked about his business, talked about his relationship. He said, Dr. Sim, I'm going to be calling you back. There's no shame. Screenshot this, guys. There's no shame in needing help unless you refuse to ask for it. Yes. Amen, Ms. Vanessa. Amen. I got some homework for you real quick. Troy knows about this. We just got another video from class, and we're going to have homework in a few days. Remember, your trial is temporary. Screenshot this. Remember, your trial is temporary. Troy went on a trip a couple of weekends ago, and their family celebrated the graduate since everybody couldn't be together last year. She went to New Jersey. They went from St. Louis to New Jersey. It's supposed to be a 12-hour trip, but they ran into some traffic, ended up being 14 hours. They were in the car for 14 hours. But guess what? They got to New Jersey. That trial was temporary. And you got to understand, on this side of heaven, everything is temporary. Your trial has an expiration date. I'm going to wait for 3 of y'all to shout. Your trial has an expiration date. Number 2, never stop sharpening your piece of iron. Danny's going through self-care right now. I'm constantly working on Dr. Sims. And then number 3, get some help. Get some help. What did I just say? It's no harm in needing help. There's no shame in needing help. The shame is refusing to ask for help. Okay? And no, if you're a business owner, personal development is a business expense. Business owners, you ought to have a coach on your team. Business owners, you ought to have a coach on your team. All right? Troy and Reggie have date night every Friday, I believe. Just talked to another couple. They have date night. That's a positive thing. I just got inbox another friend of mine getting married in October. So love is in the air. I know they say marriages is down, is declining, but there's still people that believe in love. And she just said, an African proverb says, you cannot give what you do not have. So stop focusing on what you can get. Start focusing on what you can give. If all you can give is 25 cents, you give that 25 cents with everything you got. If all you can give is a hug, give a hug. Danny is a free hugger as well. And when I look at this climate of dating, men and women that are vying for each other's affection, everybody's focusing on what they can get. Women talk about the kind of man that they want. And I saw a TikTok yesterday where the young man was on a podcast, and he said these women, he asked a bunch of women, he was at a bar, and he was asking women, he asked single women all the time, what do you want in a man? And they just, boy, they can spout out a dictionary. Oh, he got to do this. But when he turns the conversation on them, well, what are you willing to give? And what are you willing to provide? Deer in the headlight look. It gets quiet. You know how much deer, it gets quiet. And I believe the tide is going to turn in your life when you stop focusing on what you can get and start focusing on what you can give. Screenshot this. Share this with your followership. When you stop focusing on gimme, and focusing on what you can give, watch the tide turn in your life. All right, I'm going to run to another commercial, and we got to get out of here. Hey, Liz, how has it been to have me as your life coach?
It's been a life-changing experience, honestly, Dr. Sims. Since I first met you on Periscope or watched you, you always brought a smile to my life and helped me through the darkest times and helped me learn the methods that would improve my life. I've had a lot of issues over the years with, mental health issues, depression, anxiety, relationship issues, things like that. And I've worked with so many different people, psychologists, psychiatrists, and there's nothing that's been more impactful and made a difference in my life than your coaching has.
Oh, thank you. Do you suggest that people that need a life coach reach out to me?
Yes. Like I said, I hit so many dead ends working with psychologists and even like different, cognitive therapy, different types of techniques. And I have not seen any results from all of that work in over so many years until I finally started working with you. And it's changed my life.
Amen. Thank you. Hey, Liz, what would you say the biggest thing that you have learned working with a life coach?
The biggest thing is to be honest. You have to trust your life coach 100%. And that means being honest with him or them and yourself. And you have to do the homework. No one's going to change it for you. They're there to guide you. They're your coach. They will show you the way. It's up to you to make the change and be honest and trust yourself, trust your coach, and trust the process.
Did I ever tell you what to do?
No. You helped me come to the realization on my own and guided me in a way that made me feel comfortable with the decision and knowing what I have to do inside myself.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Liz. All right, everybody, remember, your trial has an expiration date. And don't be afraid or ashamed to get help when you need it. It's been a great show today. Again, Danny, thank you for coming. Again, everybody that tunes in, thank you. Listen, don't forget, please don't forget, if you are watching from my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We right at 500 followers on YouTube. Yay. We heading to 1,000 because once I get to 1,000, I'm going to automatically go live on my website. But make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you will know when I go live. All right. And again, thank you for being here today. And remember, if you stay high on life, life is going to stay high on you.
Hey now, if you'd like to donate today to the Dr. Walter Sims Show, please donate at Cash App, $Walter H. Sims. Yes, that's Cash App, $WALTERHSIMS. That's Cash App, $Walter H. Sims. Hey now, if you'd like to donate today to the Dr. Walter Sims Show, please donate at Cash App, $Walter H. Sims. Yes, that's Cash App, $WALTERHSIMS. That's Cash App, $.